Bene, apro io brevemente. Buongiorno e benvenuti a tutti alla presentazione del nostro nuovo head coach, Uwe Krupp. I will speak in English, so Uwe understands me, and I think this is respectful. So we really want to warm welcome him. So I think this is important for him to know. It's a very warm pleasure to have you here with us, Uwe, in Lugano. Uwe, as everybody of you probably know, has had a really important and big player career. Over 820 NHL games. He was able to raise the Stanley Cup, so not more. You can't get more than that in hockey. So a really huge personality. And when we discussed, I felt the energy of Uwe, because he told me it's the first time in his career he wasn't jumping from one job to the next one, but he had a break of about 6 months between the last time he coached. So he is really energetic, and especially he was available to commit to Hockey Club Lugano right away. And I think this was really an important thing. Uwe jumped already twice in a situation like that, in Berlin and in Köln. And he was able to turn things around, so that's an experience he has, and which is really important for us. And I mean, you will meet him now, but he is a really strong personality. And after we made the interviews, me first, and then Antti, our advisor, we were able to say we think that this is the right character that we need going further from this season on. Discussing with Uwe and Antti too, we decided that it's really important for Uwe to have assistants on the bench that knows the team already, so we decided to put on the bench with him our former U20 coach and actual video coach Paolo Morini, and our skills coach Flavien Kohn, that already know our players, that can help Uwe getting along and meeting all the new players. Uwe, the stage is yours. Right. Thanks a lot. I'm really happy to have you with us. He's up to answer your questions. Thank you.
Non faccio traduzioni simultanee, però se qualcuno qualche parola non è in chiaro posso magari provare a dare una mano.
Inglese?
O tedesco? English or...
Okay.
Can you please tell the name? So
yes,
the
sure.
new people for him. So Flavio Viglezio,
Corriere del Ticino.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
First question, very simple question. How and why you decided to come here? Have you been surprised of to go from Lugano, and in which spirit you come in a bit in general?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. And as Marco already said, it's the first time since 2005-06 that I did not start the season with the club, go through training camp and lead a team through the regular season. And I felt it was good for me to do so, given the opportunity that I had to do this. And then when I sat around, you get contacts are being made by teams that are maybe possibly looking for a coach, and I didn't feel like, I have to say, there was not one situation where I said, oh, this is a great challenge and this is something that I want to do in the middle of the season. And when the call came from Marco and from HC Lugano, it went really, really quick. The name, I think, speaks for itself. It's one of the teams with the longest and best traditions in European hockey, and in Switzerland. It's just it's one of those traditional teams that it's an honor to be able to coach, and I think that gets me out of my time away from home with the kids, and I feel it's a great challenge.
Vernizzi Moreno from La Regione newspaper. Nice to meet you. about what they told you about the situation of Lugano this season.
Well, all I know is that, and I told Marco in the press conference, I said I really don't want to talk about the past that much, but I think the story is that it's a team that's struggling, and and it's the way it is in all sports, in all team sports. At some point, that they wanted to make a change, and I don't know all the details to be honest, and I'm just kind of looking forward to an opportunity here to coach, get to meet all the players today, and be in the first practice, run part of it, and look forward to the first game on Friday.
Omar Meshal, Radio RSI. You don't want to talk about the past, so the present. You see the team this morning. What do you see in this team? What potential do you see in this team?
Well, I got to say it's impressive. It's my first half hour on the ice. This is a very talented group. They got size, they got mobility. I think there's a lot of pieces in a puzzle that's there. I know there's a couple of guys that have injuries right now that are important factors. But overall, I think it's a talented group. But having said that, I believe that the opposition is also talented and also good. So, we will find out here on the weekend, on Friday, Saturday, how we match up. And I think we can probably say more. If you ask me the same question again after the weekend, I'm probably going to be able to give you more information. Right now, the atmosphere was good. The guys are. I know when there's a coaching change, it's always a lot of. I don't want to say it's turmoil, but it's turmoil. And I felt we had a meeting before the practice where I introduced myself and kind of talked a little bit about what we're trying to do here, what we're trying to accomplish, and I thought the players responded really well, and the spirits were good.
Germany and Switzerland have developed internationally at a really high level. The last two World Finals were with Germany and then Switzerland. What do you think can you bring from this Deutsche Hockey in a Swiss team? Role?
When I try to describe myself, I don't think I'm like a product of German hockey. Because I left Germany when I was 19 to go to the NHL, and then I spent 25 years in North America. So virtually my entire pro career I played in North America. However, when I did my coaching certification in the US and then went back to Germany, that's when I was reintroduced to European hockey, which you have to say now, international hockey is not a. When I was a kid, there were clear differences between an Eastern European team and a North American team, and a Scandinavian team and a Czech team, or Czechoslovakian team. Whereas now, international hockey has grown, and it's such a melting pot of skills and players and styles. But I don't think you see anymore the big differences. So it's about playing modern hockey, coaching with good coaches, playing in a league with good teams, and that will develop hockey. And like I said, it's a opportunity, whether that's in Germany or that's in Austria or in Switzerland, if we're talking about the German-speaking countries. I think all those leagues are developing and getting better, just like hockey in the world overall is getting better.
You will have some time, but not so many time.
Yeah, not much. I would say
not so much.
I would say not much time at all.
Not much time.
Yeah.
So, for this reason, what will be your focus especially in the first day, the first week? More mental, more tactical, a mix of both. But you probably already have a little bit an idea of what kind of philosophy you want to bring here.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always a combination of the mental game and the physical game. And Definitely I'm going to meet with every player and talk with every player. We get that started today. It helps me to get to know them without having a training camp. It's good to have them sit in front of you, and I get to know if they're married or how's their season going for them, and you get to get a little bit of a feel for every player, and then also discuss a little bit how their season is going for them, and then you talk about the mental game at that point. So that's I think that's something that needs to be addressed or can be addressed. Maybe you never know exactly what comes when you go into those meetings. You never know exactly what you're going to hear. But I think it helps the players to kind of open up a little bit and tell you how they feel. And once that is, I think that's probably step one and a very big factor in a situation when you come in the middle of the season. They get to know you, you get to know them a little bit. And then when it comes to the game itself, I would say that after talking to Auntie and all the other coach Paolo and all the other coaches, I said to them, so how do we approach this? And they said, start from zero, as if you start from zero. And so we're going through, the D-zone coverage, for example, today. Tomorrow we touch on some forechecking, and we're going to go just walk through. But when I say start from zero, we're talking about fundamentals, not some rabbit in the hat. But what are the elements that I think we need to execute in order to play well in our own end and overall play a good, solid game.
Which kind of philosophy? I mean, in Switzerland, we start to know you with a group when you were coaching as a coach.
Yeah.
When you were coaching the German team, I remember it was 2010 and 11. This game, 1-0 Mannheim. Very, very solid team. It's a bit your philosophy. Defense for a very solid team.
I think it's changed. Like you, as a coach, you cannot afford to be. If I go and try to coach now, like I did 2012, I think that's not. It doesn't fly. The personalities have changed. The generation that's coming is not the same. The influences are different. So I think there's certain aspects in the game that are the same whether you are. There's certain hockey game. You have to play good on the offense. You got to play good on the defense, and you need good goaltending. And in there is your whatever is authentic and your personality to bring that across to the team and play. That team we had to play very defensive against the Swiss team because they were the superior offensive team, and the game plan was to play a tight game. We knew that if we play tight, we have a chance.
Della Valle Ticino, how would you describe yourself as a coach? There's some coach very demanding with players, other coaches more, gentle with players. Are you a tough coach? I mean, players would need to be ready to fight a lot, even during practice.
I think it's a little weird to describe yourself, I would say you need to be a little bit of everything, and I'm not dodging your question. I think there's times where you need to be very direct and when you need to address something or correct. And then at times you need to understand that, right now is not the right time to, put your boot in there. I think the one thing that, and I told this to the team today in the morning, is that they have to be open for correction and for teaching. So when you correct the player, that doesn't mean that you don't like it. But you need to take corrections, and that means that you're going to have to address some things that are maybe uncomfortable for a player. But at the same time, there's also a lot of good things that you're going to be reinforcing. Not everything is bad. I say this all the time. It appears that way because people look at the statistics or whatever. But there's a lot of good in that locker room, and there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of good things that they do every day. And you're just hoping to mold it a little bit and then have success.
As a player, your name is a very big name. Do you think even now, after some years coaching, do you think your name still helps you when you have to teach something to someone? I mean, Uber Group is telling me to do this.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
easier when your name is Uber Group.
I don't know. I used to think so. Like it seems that way a little bit, but I have actually. I think it's a mistake if you believe that. I think you got to go every day and earn the respect of the players. I think that's my opinion. I think you got to go every day and prove yourself, and that is not just the coach; it's also the players. I think it's everybody. This is a highly competitive environment that we live in, and that's not just professional hockey or the National League in Switzerland. That's when you wake up in the morning, you're in a highly competitive environment. So you got to prove yourself, and that's the same with me. And it doesn't matter what I did 30 years ago. To me, like it's fun when you watch a clip or when I see Patrick Waugh or when we meet to talk about it. But I don't think it affects how I go into my day-to-day business.
Sign a short-term contract. Your goal as a coach is to go and get a contract for the next year.
You know, it's interesting, and it's a good question. Like I've generally always been the guy that builds. I've kind of been the guy that comes in and takes a team and builds. But I have to say that this was just too good I'm really excited about it, and it's just a great opportunity, and I didn't want to ask too many questions, but come here, have fun, and take this experience.
You get some advice, some information before approaching this project? I don't know. I think at Bundestrainer Kreis, or as you said before, just start from zero.
Yeah, spoke with Harry, spoke with Ralph Kruger. There's quite a few people that I talked to Justin Kruger. So guys that I know that have had experience in the Swiss League, and they're all excited for me. So it's great.
And what they told you?
They gave me really good information, like useful things that I can use. If you want to know details, I don't know if I want to get into details, but it helps to have a good network and have people that you trust and that they say, this is kind of what you can expect, and this is something to be ready for, and they both said, everybody said, the league is very fast, the players are very talented. Those are sort of the hockey aspect in that regard. But I knew that. Basically, I knew that. But it still makes you feel better when you get into a completely new environment, when you've talked to a couple of people.
Stefan Roth, Blick. Did Harry Kreis tell you, or did you realize that Lugano is kind of a graveyard for coaches? I lost counting, but I think since Harry was here, there were 24 coaches. Were you happy with 24?
He didn't use those words, right? This is a Blick word, it's a graveyard, and I did not use it. But no, he said to me that it's a hockey area and it's very passionate, and hockey is a big part of the culture here, and but that describes. I was coaching Sparta Prague. It describes Sparta. It describes Berlin. It describes Cologne. It describes pretty much every area, every team that I've ever been at. So that's, to me, it's that aspect is the same. It comes with my job.
Which coaches had the most influence for your coaching career in your past?
The coaches that have left a big impression on me were the coaches that we won the Stanley Cup with in 1996. And that was Mark Crawford and Joel Quenneville. Those were the coaches that they had a big influence, I think, on everybody that played on that team. Even today, it was a unique group and young coaches it was a new generation of coaches at the time that was coming in, and they were great for us. And I got to say that Mark did an excellent job. So I know he's done a good job here in Switzerland too. and he's done very, very good work. But he was very good with us. He was very good with me personally, and you take certain things, certain aspects from coaches. There's certainly enough stuff from Mark and from Joel Quenville that I would take anywhere.
Swiss Radio. In terms of objective of the result, the club asked you something in particular to avoid the last places of the standings, to make playoff, to be in a safe place in standing?
I think there's a lot more energy in looking to go up in the standings than thinking about trying to avoid something. And I think there's no placing was called upon, but what was unmistakably communicated was that everybody feels they're better than 13th. And let's assume that we are, and let's go and let's start moving forward.
It was the same question.
Oh, same question. We have to have goals, right? You know, you don't come in to take a team over in the middle of the season and you don't have a goal. Of course, I have a goal, right? Like, you know, we want to go forward, and that goes. But before 13th place is 12th place, right? And between 12th place and 13th place is you got to play well. It's much easier to move up in the standings when you play well, and it's much easier to win hockey games when you play well, rather than just hoping that the other team is not playing. So I think it's on us to play well and play good hockey, and get the job done.
How much video did you already watch from the team?
Another good question. I watched a little bit. I think the video shows you certain things, but it doesn't show everything. And I felt it was a lot more important for me to get here as quick as possible, get to meet the players, start talking to the players, rather than spending time on the past. I also like the idea of coming in sort of without prejudice, like just kind of fresh. So I haven't seen you make mistakes on the ice. I just going to come in, work with my coaching staff, put together the first lineup, and then let's work on the things that we discussed over the last few days and go forward and get into the process. I think it's more important than trying to dwell on a lost game somewhere or on a good game.
But you did watch somewhere,
No, it's, of course, just like I talk to other people, like you prepare, right? Like just like you don't go in, like it's the only reason to ever be nervous is if you're unprepared, right? So I think I've prepared myself as well as I can, but it's a small part compared to the work that we're doing right now. It needs to be done right now.
I guess for a team which is on place 13 or second from the bottom, it's pretty important to elevate confidence. How can you address that? How can you build that?
I think you have to be able as a player to shield the outside noise a little bit. Right? These guys are competitive people, highly competitive people, and that's what makes a professional athlete or a professional hockey player. And sometimes when you listen to too much of the outside noise, it affects it's too much fog. The vision is not clear, the sight is not clear. And I think that's part of my job now, is to take the fog away, make it very clear, give a clear structure, and have fun doing it and move ahead.
Thank you very much, Uwe. Il prossimo appuntamento con Uwe è dopo la partita di venerdì. Domani non rifacciamo lo stesso esercizio. Esatto. I giocatori invece domani c'è un pregame. Thank you very much. So the next appointment with media is after the game of Friday.
Okay, all right, good.